will call to order the August 18th, 2016 meeting of the Ascension Parish Council. I'd like to call up Santa Monica Fire Chief James LeBlanc for the invocation, and let's be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. James?
Gracious Father, as we move into what I call day 7 of this, what I call catastrophic event in the Ascension Parish area, I ask you to lead, I ask you to guide, I ask you to direct every leader, every resident, every resident community that we have in this parish, that we continue to make the right decisions, and that we continue to go down the path that we need to go down to make this parish better. Lord, I've said this since day 1, and I'll say it on day 7. Our hearts in Ascension Parish are completely shattered, but our faith is as strong as it's ever going to be. In God's name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, James. We'll move right in. Roll call, Madam Secretary. Please note that all council persons are here. There's no chair's additions. Public comment period. You sign in with the secretary to give time to speak. We'll move right into our full report, and the format for this meeting is basically the only reason I wanted to get it here. We're not conducting any normal business. We know the state of our parish right now, and it's devastating, it's catastrophic, and I wanted to take this opportunity to get a full review out to the public from all the entities that are involved. And we'll start off with Parish President Matassa. Statement, sir.
Thank you. I'm totally heartbroken by this tragic event. The people of Ascension Parish are so strong, so giving, it really takes your breath away. Parish employees are the best example of that by the amazing how strong and giving spirit. Rick Weber's leadership at OEP has been amazing. He is focused and has much resolve. I'm blown away by the well staff at EOC. I was transferred from regular duties to extraordinary duties. Bill Rue's knowledge of drainage in this parish is beyond compare. He knows every pothole, ditch, stream, and has made it the difference in this response. DPW employees moved sand, filled sandbags, managed pumps, dug canals, all while their homes were being flooded. That's service. Don Heisel, Bernie, Bobby, Kyle, they all took the leadership to open the shelters at Lamar Dixon before the Red Cross came in, and was able to manage it and took in so many donations that we have in the gym right now. The volunteer nurses around this parish and St. Elizabeth staff were so great as well. The churches in our community stood up big time. The church in Santa Monica, and particularly, fed and sheltered people every day, all day. Amazing. Of course, our partners with law enforcement and fire services were putting their lives on the line and saving others while their houses were being devastated by water. We aren't completely out of the woods yet, but we are well looking towards recovery. I have already started working with the state and FEMA's partners on flood insurance and FEMA issues. If you need FEMA help, my office will work night and day to make it happen. Restoring power and fixing roads that are damaged is an important part of our getting back to normal. Our planning office will be waiving inspection fees for those that need new electric boxes and whatever. We will try to do this as quickly as possible to restore your power. This is just the beginning, and my staff will provide more information tonight, but we will get through this and we will be stronger people on the other side. The sky is dark right now, but it will shine tomorrow on Ascension Parish. Let's keep holding on to God, grace at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. Real quick, we'll move on to our OEP Director, Rick Weber, give us an update, status report. Rick, can you give me 1 second? I got my note here and I went to another piece of paper, but I would like to, a quick word by, we got an audience, Senator Bill Cassidy. If you don't mind, step to the podium where the people in, you can buy a microphone where the people in the parish can hear you that are watching on TV, sir.
I thank y'all for all you're doing. Clearly, there's 3 parts to this. There's the initial part, the intermediate, the long term. And y'all are the point of the spear in addressing the immediate, rescuing people, helping them as they have this kind of dire need. I thank you all, and I thank the great people of this parish who've done so much for each other. There's an intermediate and a long term. Listen, we're here to fly a wing for you. Y'all are the executive branch, but we're going to fly a wing for you as best we can. And if y'all have an interaction, the parish president mentioned something about work with FEMA. We're also working with FEMA. We'll be there as you can. We're trying to explore what we can do for housing. There's a lot of people who may not have had flood insurance or not the flood insurance they should have had that are wondering whether they should stay in their home. We want them to stay in their home. It's important for the community. It's important for many reasons. So we're looking for other options as regards what to do this. Frankly, some of the best ideas we've had are ideas from other people. So if y'all have an idea of what the federal government can do to strengthen your response, you let us know. Who was the guy out of Oklahoma? I'm forgetting his name. But he once said, your local politician is nothing but the hired help. Y'all are earning your salary. We want to earn ours. Let us be the hired help to help you serve others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Once again, Rick Weber. And Rick has been, his department's been giving briefings throughout the day, every day, and updates to everybody on TV, radio, and the sheriff's Facebook page and our Facebook page. So Rick, give us a cliff note, sir. Let us know.
Will do. Mr. Chairman, members of the council, throughout this incident, I want to thank all of you for your guidance and your assistance in helping my office. I definitely appreciate it. It made my job quite a bit easier. As far as the significant damage, I'm sure all of you are aware of it, but just for the benefit of our residents, let me run down real quick. Port Vincent, Summerfield, Sanama, AC, Galvez, the city of Gonzales, all areas near low-lying waterways. All of that received substantial impact throughout the parish. If you look at an inundation map of the parish, we've got some substantial damage, or at least a range of damage in that area. Right now, we're looking at the Port Vincent gauge. Right now, it's reading 11 feet, so it's on a downward trend. If you look at the weather overview real quick, I don't even want to put this out in the universe. Tropical storm Fiona is out in the Atlantic, and it looks like wind shear is going to shift it northward and won't have an impact on us right now. No weather systems that's going to affect us throughout the day, but what we're looking at, transportation and evacuations. If you look at all of our transportation infrastructure, it had a substantial impact on that. I'm not going to try to list all of the roadways here, but again, if we can tell the public, go to the APSO, the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office Facebook page, and our Facebook page, and you can get that information off of those 2 Facebook pages on what roads are open and which ones are still closed. Communications, alerts, and warnings. Again, we still have some voluntary evacuations in place in some of the major hard-hit areas. Again, it was voluntary. If you feel that you're unsafe in any way, please move out of that area and move to a safe area. Can't say enough about our fire services and EMS. They did an outstanding job working throughout the incident. The Santa Monica Fire Department lost all of its fire stations. They were able to get all of their fire apparatus out of there before the high water came in, and just to be sure, we let the residents of Santa Monica know they still have fire services and EMS. They're just working out of an alternate location, doing an outstanding job. Can't say enough about my emergency operations center staff. They're volunteers too. We only have a handful of staff that are full-time, but it's completely activated and being augmented by quite a few of the state agencies and federal agencies to help me keep it going. The sheltering operations and mass care operations at Lamar Dixon was unbelievable. This was a pretty huge event. We've got the Trade Mart Center and the 4-H building at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center full. I mean, the population of the shelter is going down, but what we're seeing is that we're starting to rotate people in and out of the shelter. Some people are being able to leave, and we're getting more people in. But managed by the American Red Cross and Volunteer Ascension, so if you can get and Ascension Parish government, but if you can see anybody with Volunteer Ascension, please pass on our thanks to them for helping us run that shelter. St. Elizabeth Hospital was gracious enough to set up a medical station out there. They helped us run that. They're still there 24 hours a day, helping us when they can, and we definitely appreciate what they did. Nursing homes, we only had one nursing home in the parish that was impacted, and they evacuated to the host sites in 2 different areas in Louisiana. Search and rescue, the Texas USAR Task Force, or the Urban Search and Rescue Task Force, is on scene now here in Ascension Parish. They're going to be augmenting our fire service people, and they're going to be doing secondary search and rescue operations, just double checking all of the houses within the area, just to make sure that everybody's okay. But these are secondary search and rescue. It's already been done once by our fire, and they're just being augmented by the Texas USAR Task Force. You know, our guys are tired, but they can help them out as much as they can to do that. Companion animals and livestock at Lamar Dixon, huge undertaking right now. We've got probably 700 animals out there. Initially started out with carousels, and we moved to Ascension Parish government augmenting them. Then the LSU School of Veterinary Medicine, LSART, and ASPCA is out there doing it. I mean, just a gigantic undertaking. And all the logistics are there. So if you ever get an opportunity to go out and see it, take a look at it, because it's really a gigantic undertaking, and we appreciate all the volunteers. We're trying to identify volunteers that can help, especially with horses that need to be walked. So you need experience with horses. If you can offer any assistance to them, please do so. So yeah, if you get a chance to check that out, please do. Drinking water. The Diversion Canal Water Company, all residents for the Diversion Canal Water Company are under a ball water advisory as we speak. These subdivisions are impacted right now. Bayou Estates, New River, River Run, and Cypress Lakes. Those subdivisions are under a ball water advisory. The Ascension Baton Rouge Water Company, Summerfield, Lake Morton, and Maranatha subdivisions, they're also under a ball water advisory. And anybody under a water well is being advised to go to a web search engine. If you need to chlorinate your well, do so. Call DHH, look at the DHH website, or just Google it, and you can find out what you need to do to chlorinate your well if you're on a well water. Law enforcement, I'd like to turn it over to Sheriff Wally, just give us an update on law enforcement operations throughout Ascension Parish.
Real quick, Rick, before you do that.
Okay.
I know y'all been posting it, but some people they're not online. But can you roll those numbers for the OEP and for people that need help real quick?
Sure. If you need just critical information on the incident, you can contact the Emergency Operations Center at 225-620, 225-621-8360. That's the Emergency Operations Center. And obviously, if you have an emergency, we'd love you to call 911. The reason we want you to call the Emergency Operations Center is to pull that capacity off of the 911 center and let them handle the emergencies that they need to handle. So again, 225-621-8360. And as soon as the sheriff's done, Mr. Chairman, I've got a couple more items I'd like to cover, and we'll be done.
Thank you, sir. Sheriff Jeff Wiley, APSO.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and board members, council members, and parish president. We got knocked down to our knees, and I got to thinking about that, and I said that one time, and then it occurred to me that maybe that's where we should be, and it kind of made a little sense to me that this will be an event, and is an event that will stay with us for a long time. We take it day by day, and that we're going to need the Lord's guidance and the Lord's direction and the patience and grace and the mercy that the Lord instills in us and provides for us. That said, it's vitally important that we get this parish as moving as quick as possible, the heartbeat of the parish. And I'm talking, we talk with the school officials, and man, they've got a yeoman's task, but they have great leadership there, and I don't know when it will be next week, but and I'm speaking for them, and I shouldn't. But when we get school back in and we get some Friday night football back in, our parish will start feeling a little bit better about some sense of normalcy, in spite of the fact that so many homes and businesses are destroyed and underwater. That said, one thing that I will build on that Mr. Weber said was the search and rescue. We have people coming in, experts from out of state, that are going to come in here and be doing some house-to-house visits and searches. Let me just tell you this: they will have ID, and they will be a sheriff's deputy. Your sheriff's deputies will be with them at every turn. They are professionals. They do this all over the country. In this case, they're men and women from Texas, which made me feel a little bit better because I was born in Texas, 37 years ago.
That was in your second life?
Yes, right. So you will see some of those people out there. They're here to help, and they are professionals in their field. And the first thing we'll do in the morning, we're going to get out on the heavily, severely impacted areas. That's our waterways and areas where there was 5, 6, and 10 foot of water. Perish the thought, but there may be folks back there that need our help. And I will tell you, this team found what they didn't want to see yesterday in an impacted area in Lower Baton Rouge, which was a deceased person that was a high water victim. Okay, that said, here's the other thing that's going to happen. It's going to happen fairly quickly. You're going to have a lot of people. This generates commerce when you have thousands of homes and businesses that are destroyed. And you have wonderful, wonderful contractors and people who come in here with the best equipment and the best talent. And then you have those predators who come in and without any of that and want you to pay them up front. Guard, and I'm asking all of you as leaders and certainly people behind me, but your viewers, to make sure if people are doing that, that they have, I would love, and I know this is a United States of America with a Constitution, but I would love for you to examine some kind of restriction of door-to-door solicitation, at least during these trying times. I know you've dealt with it before, and we have a semblance of ordinances in that regard, but it would be really good. I would tell your viewers, do no business on the telephone, whether we're flooded or we're not. Just that case. Do not agree to anything on the telephone, particularly your credit cards and things like that, ever, but particularly in this case. If they don't have good ID and they don't look like in a logoed truck, just ask them to please leave, and if they don't, we'll help them leave in quick fashion. Roadways are good, other than Highway 431. All our major thoroughfares are much better now. There's still places, obviously, where you've got to turn left, turn right 10 times to get to where you're going. But that seems to be very manageable and very encouraging. I'll say this, and I'll close with this. In a minute, I want James LeBlanc to talk about what's going on in Sanima or Greater Sanima, but we pushed out a satellite command post, your sheriff's office did, like we did at the Walmart Galvez. We're doing the same thing at Sanima now. We expect to be there for quite some time. That will be not so much, obviously, relocation of people, but that will be for property protection. And we will have high water vehicles. We got them today. We'll have them tomorrow. The USAR people, the search and rescue, they're also going to be dual. We'll be, when we see people out there, and I'd ask your viewers to understand this. Be prepared to show ID and be prepared to be questioned about why you are where you are. If you take issue with that, too bad. We want to know, and if it's your home, we will get out of your way and thank you and move on. Be prepared to have a good reason why you are where you are in the impacted areas. Lastly, before James can come up and talk about the Sanimo deal, because that's involved. I call it the Sanimo, but we're talking Sorrento, we're talking Port Vincent, and everywhere in between. The Galvez area, all those areas that are impacted, we will work our services out of that location primarily. I saw APG, and the unsung people, our deputies and your sheriff's office gets a whole lot of attention and hope, and most of it's good. And I thank them for their amazing work they do. But behind the scenes, Ascension Parish government, and I'm talking public works and drainage, I'm talking you guys as well, I'm talking Kenny, and Bill Rue, who I wouldn't trade a drainage guy for anybody in the world. It's just been amazing. But I've seen some of these drainage crews and these DPW crews that at 10 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, that just don't quit, and they don't really get a lot of the accolades and a lot of the attention. And if my little statement today kind of redirects that, I want it to. Amazing work. As officials, we are designated, elected, or whatever. We chose our path. Those guys are the hands. They're like the deputies in the sheriff's corps. These people, men and women in these trucks, and they're on these heavy equipment. I don't have time to talk about it. You don't want me to, but I will tell you there was amazing stuff that was done by people that work for you. And I want to, I know you will as well, but I saw it in person. James, you want to talk about Santa Maria real? I promised the chairman, James, that you would be brief.
Yeah, but Jeff, I've been knowing him a long time, so we're gonna work with that.
So it's, of course, a blessing to be here. Let me just say, council, everybody here, of course, I didn't know I was speaking, so I don't have a pre-recorded statement. So I'm just going to speak straight from ground zero.
Got it.
I'm going to speak straight from ground zero. For the people that don't know, everybody's affected, but I can tell you, when you're looking at me, I don't have anything. I lost every single thing I own. I lost every fire station I own. I lost every fire station. I lost every school. I lost every home. Me and my councilman, we ain't sleeping together, but we almost, because we ain't got nothing. We have absolutely positively nothing. So with that said,
2 pair of pants.
with that said, we have set up, I didn't know 7 days ago, and I see people frowning, I didn't know 7 days ago whenever I was setting up a command center at a building that somebody gave me because it was the only building in Santa Maria that didn't have water on it. And this guy said, look, we're the only place that don't have water, so come live over here. I didn't know that was going to actually be the unified command for everything that's happening in Galvez, Sorrento, Santa Maria, Port Vincent. I would challenge you, if you haven't been to Ground Zero, if you haven't been to this unified command, I challenge you to travel down 431 in the next couple of days and come see the Louisiana National Guard, the Fire Marshal's Office, the Wildlife and Fisheries, the fire departments, the Sheriff's Office. Every emergency agency you can possibly name is on this little bitty piece of land in Santa Maria that didn't get any water. So I can tell you, we dispatching, we're feeding over 500 people 3 times a day. I'm talking about workers. I'm talking about parish workers, sheriff's office, fire department people from Sorrento, from Galvez, from Port Vincent. It's words just can't describe what's actually happening. I don't know how long we're going to be there, but I can tell you, speaking from, and everybody's affected. I'm not just pointing at Sorrento. Santa Maria, I want to make sure I'm pointing at everybody. Everybody needs to realize, and I think you do, the impact is unreal. And it's going to be the longest haul that we've ever dealt with. And I don't have no idea how long we're going to be at this unified command center on Highway 431. And I don't know how long we're going to be pushing food out and taking care of people. But I would just ask you to come visit. Come ride by, come visit, come see what's going on. There's actually 2 lots on 431. The only 2 lots that didn't get water is also the Church of Santa Maria, which is Pastor Mark Sturmer's church. And these guys have not slept also in the last 7 days. And those are the people that's been pushing out over 1,500 meals a day. 1,500 meals a day is what they've been pushing out. So, look, I sympathize with you, but you're actually looking at somebody that has absolutely, positively nothing. Have a great day.
Thank you, James. Well, do we have anybody from the school board here? Look, I'm going to tell you what, we met with them this morning. Those folks, like Sheriff Wiley had said, they've been rallying up, and they're the best. So we've got the top brass here.
You have a team here. That's what we've always been. First of all, we thank you for the opportunity to speak. Just want to give you a brief update. We are meeting daily and all day. We just finished a meeting just now We're trying to make every effort to get our kids back in schools quickly. We are not, I'll let Mr. Alexander maybe give you a timeline, but we made great progress this afternoon as far as solutions. And so what we're going to do tomorrow is review those solutions and see if we can put them into practice, practice early. And early might be mid-next week, it may not be mid-next week. I do want to say this, that today is my last official day as superintendent. I heard Chief LeBlanc say day 7. Today is 171 for me as the superintendent, and I agreed to 90. And so, yeah, I agreed to 90. Today's 171. But it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to work for such a school system. But I need everybody in Ascension Parish to remember, and especially all 22,000 children and all of my 3,000 employees and all the residents of Ascension Parish, we are Ascension, and Ascension means that you rise, and we will continue to rise to the occasion. Remember that our Ascension Parish schools are number 4 in the state. Remember that we rise. Remember that we are a school system that is clarified as an A because we rise. And so as we come to this next step in our journey, understand that we're Ascension Parish school systems, and we will continue to rise, and we rise because of all of you with your support for our children. And I just ask that you continue to pray for Ascension Parish. But remember this, we will rise. And I'm going to turn it over to the new superintendent of the best school system in the state of Louisiana, Mr. David Alexander.
Thank you very much. David, before you get started, you can't really go anywhere. You can get away from the title, but don't leave us, okay? You know, and we're dependent on prayer, and our first meeting that you and I got together with was, I'm not gonna say how many, over 20 years ago, Fellowship of Christian Athletes,
That's right.
and you've hung in there, and we appreciate your
Thank you so
tenure
much. Appreciate
and
it.
work you did for our children. Thank you. Go ahead,
I
David.
echo all of that. She can't go anywhere. As a matter of fact, I think there was a portion of my contract that said that she had to
She
stay.
gets part of your salary.
Yes, right. She should. We're gonna flip a coin some mornings about who's gonna do this. Denise said it, she's basically giving you the information. We have been working strategically today with both district level staff and our principals to develop some processes to be sure that every child is going to have an opportunity to have a place to go to school when we open our school buildings. And so every child, which is what we've been saying for years now, is going to take every adult, and it's going to take every effort of everybody to be able to make this happen. But we're very confident that this is something that we're going to be able to accomplish here. We need probably another 24 to 48 hours of information before we could give you some really confident date about when we could open. You know, we have statistics on our employees that are available right now, but those benchmarks are not, or we have not achieved the benchmark that we believe is reasonable to you know, and when I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about cafeteria workers and bus drivers and teachers and people like that. So opening our building, we've got to have adults there. But you know, I know Sheriff Wiley said this, I've heard others say it. We realize the significance, not only because, I mean, one of our most valuable citizenship almost is our children. And so servicing them in education is certainly one of our number one things. But it also is a sense of a morale lift when we open our buildings, and we know that that's going to happen too. I do know that our children are going to learn again, but they're learning right now. They're watching this community of adults respond to what is something, and they're going to have some tragedy in their life when they're 20 and 25 years from now, and they're going to remember what we did. So we're doing it well. I've learned so much in the last week about things here and about the way this government here works. And I'm just so proud to be a part of it. I really am. Thank y'all for having us back. We'll continue to give you messages out about the progress we're making. Very proud of our staff right now and how much they've been able, some of them left their homes today that were flooded to come in and work for what they needed to do here. We'll get this pulled together, and we're targeting somewhere mid to late next week. Last thing I'll say, if you remember that, you know, there is a school system that's opening Wednesday, and they were a little ahead of us in terms of getting to a recovery state. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about when we should open. We're not necessarily using them as a timeline, but it's a pretty good gauge to think how many days it takes to open your buildings. They're a couple of days ahead of us moving from response to recovery. So thank y'all for letting me speak here.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Denise. We'll move on down to, we have some representatives from municipalities here, and we'd like to give them an opportunity to give an update on their cities and towns. Sorrento Mayor Mike Lambert. And just to let everybody know, Mike's on the bottom end, and he's still getting hit, okay? He has places not receiving.
Thank you, members of the council, Council President. Town of Sorrento is primarily still in the water. The majority of the town still has water. It is now starting to very slowly recede. This process should take, in my estimation, several more days to where the town could start some normalcy. We're going to have a massive rebuild of this town. It's a ground zero start up again. The majority of my businesses have been impacted. The majority of my homes have been impacted, and we are just going to have to build a new town. I look forward to that challenge. I thank Parish President Matassa, members of the council, especially my councilman Bill Dawson, for the help that we've had. I do like to thank the Sheriff's Department. They have been there with us, and I'd like to thank my fire department. Those guys have been going 7 days straight. We are making plans now to get them some relief. We are in the process of trying to get some firefighters in to give them some time to decompress, take care of their homes, and to rebuild their lives. My council members are scattered all over the area. The majority of them lost their homes, as well as I have. My employees, those guys haven't gone home. The 8 employees that I have been there since day one. They are dragging. Tomorrow, we'll be meeting, the Louisiana Municipal Association has arranged to get some help to us with a city that will be working with us and advising us on how to rebuild, and their suggestions. They were impacted greatly by Katrina, and they will be here in Sorrento tomorrow to start advising us. We are making plans now for the recovery effort. And we're going to come back. We ain't giving up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We'll move on to the Gonzales Mayor, Barney Arsenault.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Parish President, thank you, and council members. Appreciate you allowing us to come here today. Like everyone before me said, let me tell you, folks, we had a wonderful team effort. Unfortunate what happened to us, but I can tell you I was just so proud to work alongside with all the people, from law enforcement to the EMS folks to the fire folks. Everyone worked as a great team, and that means a lot when your people are struggling. Just a little report here in Gonzales. Right now, there are 3 areas that we still have some standing water: Hodgson Road area, Southwood Subdivision, as well as Pecan Grove. It is going down, but it is still standing right at this particular time. The streets are open. That's one good thing right now. We got all our streets open. Our police department done a wonderful job taking care of barricades and what have you. But I'm just happy that we can allow that to take place so we can allow our commerce to continue. There's a lot of folks coming into town right now. I think our hotels are full from people traveling from different parts of the state, actually. One thing we had mentioned, but just to let you know, which I think is very important, but we do have mosquito spraying taking place now, which is so important with all the water that we've got on the ground. And I want to give a special thanks as well to Councilman Cagnolati, who represents Gonzales, but he stayed in touch with me the whole time, giving us assistance, and I appreciate, Johnny, what you did. But everybody really helped out. I mean, all of you have been wonderful to us. Councilman Cluat, Chairman Cluat, and I actually flew over all the spots in this area, and I will tell you, yeah, we had some hard times in Gonzales, but nothing like Santa Mo did. We flew from Port Vincent, all the way back in. And I just feel for the folks of Santa Monica area. They were hard hit. My heart goes out to you. My prayers go out to you. And just always know whatever we can do for you, we certainly want to do that. But once again, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. As Mike said, you know, we're struggling, but we're going to come back. And thank you all for the help that you've given.
Yeah, Barney, do you have Chief Jackson here, or
He
is
was,
he's out
no,
on the
he was
road?
actually going to another meeting right now.
Okay,
We
good deal.
came here. Thank you for that, though.
And I know that Gonzales PD and APSO work very close with each other, and they basically, within those two entities, cover the parish. Next, we're gonna try to bring up DPW Director, Mr. Bill Rue. He's gonna give us a status on the different areas, the different flood basins, and what we got going on in those areas. Thank you, Bill.
Chairman, Council, for most of the council and a lot of the other elected officials, I'll be repeating some things that we've been going over every day in stages throughout this event. The way this event occurred is not surprising. It's something we pretty well predicted where it was going to go, what was going to happen. The extent of the severity was something unknown and something we could not predict, and it was devastating. And to go into just a little summary of how this thing happened, number one is we had a lot of rain, but that's not the end of the story. First thing, the parish was in somewhat of a flood situation prior to the major event coming from Amite River. So that filled up all the basins. So it was a critical factor in what occurred later. On top of that, we had record rainfall in the northern part of the state, or the Amite River Basin. Of course, that's all coming down. It came down before we had a chance to get what was flooding already within the parish out. The way a flood event that occurs within our parish from Amite River is it comes in from the north. The number one, very simple way you need to understand, the public need to understand that this water's coming down from the north, trying to go south. Only thing it wants to do is get to Lake Marpaw and Lake Pontchartrain to the Gulf. That's it. That's all it wants to do. And it can find any means to get there. So what happens is, in our parish, it overflows in the northern part of the parish, which is well, first thing it does, it starts backing up Bayou Manchac. It goes all the way to the end of Bayou Manchac. Now we get a problem with the Bluff Road and all the bayous and the tributaries along Bayou Manchac, all the way to there. We start experiencing problems, flood problems. The main event is coming down. It enters the parish through Port Vincent and the Lake Martin area and the Henderson Bayou area. From there, again, keep in mind, it wants to go south. It wants to get to Lake Pontchartrain, and it's trying to get there any way it can. So it's coming through the Lake Martin area, starting to flood everything. We have a protection levee called Law Ridge Levee. We also have a ridge that the Gold Place Road Ridge. The combination of the two is our barrier from the gravity drainage district of the north, which is Henderson Bayou and Lake Martin and that area, which is purely gravity drainage, most of it. The other side, the south side of Law Ridge Levee and Gold Place Road is part of our protection levee, part of the Marvin Brook Pump Station Protection Levee. Going back to 1983, everybody knows, in fact, the reason we have the Marvin Brook Pump Station is because of the 1983 flood. In 1983, the similar situation occurred, but what happened was when it did breach the old Law Ridge Levee and Gold Place Road, it had a direct route to, again, where it wanted to go, Lake Marpaw, and that is through AC Santa Monica and on to the McElroy Swamp and on to Lake Marpaw. In this situation, though, because of 83, the council decided, the parish government decided to build a protection levee and pump system, which is the Marvin Brook pump system. Part of that system is a protection levee that connected into the old Law Ridge Levee, tied into our pumping system on the south part of the parish in the McElroy pump area, swamp area, and continued around close to Airline Highway up north towards Sorrento. Now, what happened in this event, and that's why this is what we did back since 1983, and how it affected this occurrence was once it overtopped Gold Place Road and the old Laurel Ridge levee, it became it entered the interior of our protection levee and protection system. That system is made to keep water out. It's very hard, when you start coming in from the backside, it's not made to get water out very efficiently. It filled up that basin. Again, it didn't have any place to go. It followed our levee system around to the south side of the parish, which is the levee and the system near Airline Highway, US 61. Again, it's hitting levees and other systems right there that stopped it, causing it to start trying to go north to get out. At that point, it started building up, flowing back into Gonzales. Then it's trying to find a way out, so now it's crossing Weber City Road and Airline Highway and going into Sorrento. All this time it's building up because it can't be released. It's in a bowl because of a rise in elevations. That is one of the reasons that we had a massive devastation in these areas as far as flooding. Elevations just went out of sight. It went into Sorrento, and it's still in Sorrento right now. It's trying to relieve itself through Conway, again, back south, and trying to get to the Macaroni swamp and the Lake Marpaw. What's happening, the reason in Sorrento is starting to stall is because it has a problem getting through the somewhat of a levee system, which is caused by the railroad system down there, and also the interstate and Highway 61, and it's causing it to go toward St. James. And that process is stalling the whole thing and causing us a little bit of a problem trying to get it out of Sorrento right now. When it went up through the Manchac Basin and drainage system, it backed up all the way to Alligator Bayou Road, and then it overtopped, a massive overtopping of Alligator Bayou Road into the Spanish Lake system. When I say massive, it went for a massive breaching of that system for about 3 miles. It's completely filled up the Spanish Lake Basin all the way to 74, Bluff Road, Ridge Road area, and flooded those areas. Right now, that basin is still full. We're thinking that it's just about stopped. They've got a little bit more breaching of that road right now, overtopping the road, but from the overall scale of what was happening before, it's very limited right now, and it's not causing a major increase in elevations, but it is, a factor that we're looking at. The problem with that area, and that's again something that we're really looking at and concentrating on right now, is the fact that the only way to get that basin drained, is through small culverts, relatively small culverts when you look at that whole size of the basin. If we totally use these culverts as the way of getting the water out of that basin, a house with 4 to 6 feet of water in it will have 4 to 6 feet of water in it probably a month and 2 months from now. And that's how much water is in that basin now. And the way of getting it through the covers are just not very efficient. The council and with the Ascension Parish Council and Iberville has come together and agreed that the only way that we can efficiently get the water out is to provide a weir control structure at our site at Frog Bayou to allow it to overtop into Bayou Manchac. The way we're going to do that is that we actually going to establish a weir structure beginning at about 2 feet deep, the depth, and about 70 feet long along the road. We're going to allow the water to overflow into Bayou Manchac, controlled flow. As Bayou Manchac recedes every 2 feet, we'll follow it. So the depth of our weir will deepen as Bayou Manchac deepens. They give you an example of the efficiency of that compared to pumps. A 70-foot by around 2 to 4 feet is probably, if you get the full head pressure behind it, is equivalent to a couple of our pumps at Marlboro Pump Station. It's impossible to get this kind of pumping action from a mechanical pump, rented pump to put over there. It's 5, 6, 7 times the volume can be put out relative to a pumping type of system. So that's why we decided to do this. It's the most efficient, cost efficient, but more than that, it's the most efficient way to get the water out. As soon as the water, we go in right now and establish mobilize, get the equipment, get the manpower out there. As soon as the elevation in Man Shack starts receding, we're going to follow it. And in addition to that, we're also going to have extra pumps out there through the state and to provide just that much more benefit. But again, the weir construction is the primary way of getting the water out in a more efficient way. To give you another example, back a few years ago, we tried to pump. We had a high elevation in that system, nothing like it is now, no flooding, but it was a high elevation. We wanted to get it out. We had some huge, the biggest pump that we could get, 2 of them. We put it in there. It took us, I think, a month and a half to 2 months to bring it down about 4 feet. This system here, we got to bring down 8 to 10 feet. So again, if even with pumps over there, without this system that we putting in, you still having a major flood situation in that system for several months if you try to only pump it out. So again, we feel confident that the system we putting in over there and the way we're going to handle that the control draining of that system will work. And I emphasize, and this for the public, people living downstream of that structure, and the way we're going to be operating this is totally controlled. Totally controlled. At any point in time, we can lessen the depth of the weir, actually, or we can stop digging. We can wait until everything catches up downstream if we see adverse effects downstream. And in addition to that, we have some huge sand baskets over there that the Corps put there, super baskets, and they're going to remain there. And we're going to have the means of, in case we get a front or we get a system coming into Louisiana, and we see that might be a factor for raising the elevations in Manchac, Amy River and Manchac, we will be able to actually stop that structure completely and protect it from any more influence from the Bayou Manchac entering that basin. So again, it's totally controlled. We will not affect anybody downstream, no matter who they are, and we'll be monitoring the situation completely at all phases. The other little of similar situation, but not as serious, is the Henderson Bayou. We put in a pump system there, floodgate pump system, and in doing so, we get into the same kind of scenario as the Marvin Pump Station. This system was overtopped. Everything around it was overtopped. And when it did, it filled up the basin and made our control structure ineffective completely shut it down. You can't pump, you can't do anything. Everything has receded from around that, overtopping that structure. We're in the process right now of pumping that system out. That system includes Pinecrest and Norwood Road, Henderson Bayou Road, the school and Henderson Bayou. Everything through that area will be pumped out. We're getting additional pumps to assist us in that. And again, the people living downstream of that will not be affected at all with this, the way we are handling this system, the evacuation of water from that system. So that's in the progress right now. We already started that operation and hoping to get it out. The other main thing, like I mentioned a minute ago, and because the public heard some things about it, the Marvin Bro Pump Station system, again, we had a levee situation there that contained the water and kept it from going south into Lake Marpol. We made a decision, the council and administration made a decision a couple of days ago to go ahead and develop a hole, if I, lack of a better term. We dug a breach in that levee system of about 80 to 90 feet long to allow the water within the basin to get out. We did this after the elevation outside the system was less than the elevation inside. We had about, I think, 18 to 20 inches. So when we did that, we allowed the flow to go out. We had such a good effect from that, doing that we decided to go in yesterday. We actually made it bigger yesterday, and we went back in today and enlarged it one more time. And again, the reason is we need to get this water out. And in addition to this, our pumping system has been going since the event began. Way back with just a rain event. We had 5 pumps, we went to 6, we're back to 5. We're having some maintenance problems that we go back and forth on. But the pumping system has never shut down, even though it was overtopped and water was going around it. The system it was functioning the whole time, even when it was half underwater itself, providing some kind of benefit. The situation at that breach of the levee, just to make sure everybody understands that we have super baskets, sand baskets coming in that's lifted by helicopter. We have that probably situated near the site of the breach. And at any time we see a system coming in from the Gulf, the government going to help us, the National Guard will help us lift these baskets and secure and stop up that gap. The main thing is we're going to keep it open until all the water drains out, in addition to our pumping system, the combination of the two. And going back to what I mentioned before, that as far as efficiency, by putting this gap in there, we actually doubling the size of our pumping system. It's adding probably another 6,000 cubic feet per second discharge out of the system. So basically saying we having 2 Marvinboro pump stations trying to get the water out. So basically that's what's happening right now. Again, to go back and just mention just briefly about Sorrento, the reason it's slowing down so much is because the backwater from Amite River is actually coming around, entering Conway and that system from the south right now, causing it to slow down, not be able to get out very easily. So it's got to contend with the backwater elevations below Sorrento. And again, that's what's causing it to go to St. James. So other than that, I mean, that's the brief synopsis of what happened and why it happened the way it did.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Weber, you want to come back and give us another, extend your update, sir?
Mr. Chairman, this won't take long. We're quickly moving from the response phase to human services and recovery, and I just wanted to touch on a few of those topics. My staff has contacted the Governor's Office of Homeland Security, and we plan on opening a disaster recovery center at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center by midweek of next week, and that's where all residents can go to file FEMA claims and open FEMA claims. Because of the activity that we have at Lamar Dixon, we've got we're not at capacity, but we have a lot of activity, and the impact of opening a disaster nutrition assistance program is pretty vast. So we're going to delay opening that for a little while until we can get some of the donations moved to another location so we can use the gym to do that. But that is in the works. The USAR team is in place, and now we need to look at long-term recovery. Other legislation that was written for Superstorm Sandy is what we need to look at: rapid recovery, shelter in place, looking at all those grants. I've contacted the assistant director of GOSEP for recovery, and we're going to start looking at long-term sheltering for our residents should we need it. Debris monitoring, the notice to proceed has been signed for the debris monitoring, and we're going to begin that, at least the assessment, early next week. We want to make sure all the water is out of the way so we can get to all the areas in the parish. What we will ask the residents to do is begin with construction demolition debris, and then we'll move to vegetative, and we'll look at the other types of debris later. We're going to do it by zone. We're going to do it by number of passes, and please don't put the debris in the lanes of travel. Please don't put them in the drainage servitudes, and don't put them next to utility services where you live. So a grapple truck won't grab a telephone line and pull it out of the way. But we will begin announcing that early next week.
Do you want to go ahead and, like we did before, separate white goods from construction, or?
We do, and what we want to start is initially with construction demolition, and that's sheet rock and carpet and all the stuff that we can have to mud these houses out with. Let's start with that first, and then we'll do vegetation, and then we'll do white goods, household hazardous material if need be, and we'll move on from there.
But they can still pile it up.
They can
It's
still
gonna
pile
be
it
there a
up.
while.
Right.
For the
it's-
next phase.
Right, it's gonna be there a while, but I think the majority of the debris that we're gonna see is construction demolition over the next few days. Donation management, we still accept, if anybody wants to do a monetary donation, please contact the Volunteer Ascension, Sherry Dennick, that's our private nonprofit for this incident, if they wanted to do that. And on quick note from legal, if any contractor is seeking a permit to work in Ascension Parish for this disaster, they must be licensed by the state to get a permit to operate in this parish. And just echo some of the things that the sheriff was saying to some of our residents. And other than being subject to your questions, this kind of concludes the briefing that we have.
Thank you, Rick. And I just wanted to throw a couple notes in there, what the administration and everybody's been working on. Of course, our first goal is human health and safety. And, you know, when we basically get dewatered down to a point where everybody can access their homes, what we already have, and Dempsey can tell you, we've been working on hard today, is trying to get some electricity back to folks. Folks are back at their house and they're trying to get some electricity. We have some major safety concerns. The power company has major safety concerns with that. What we've got is developing a pretty simple process, and that probably won't be out till tomorrow or something, but basically we're able to capture both Demco and Energy into a meeting and settle down. They sit down with Jerome and everybody in planning zone and all our inspection departments to try to develop something to safely allow people to get electricity to come back in. And you know, I don't want to misquote because I don't have the details in front of me, but we're working on that for people. Right. And you'd mentioned the debris pickup and FEMA actually getting a site in. We've been in correspondence today with, I think he's meeting with you later today, Fred Choi
Yes.
with FEMA.
6 p.m. today.
And what I proposed to Fred a series of simple questions that's always asked. We're getting calls already. Hey, I tried to go online and put in my claim and all, and you know, they told me I make too much money. You know, he's clearing that up, okay, before we can get precise answers. Or, well, we've heard the governor speak out, and everybody speak out about they got the 33,000 one time, okay? Well, that sounds good when you say it, all right, but there's some contingencies with everything. So he's trying to clear that up. But the fact is, what we did clear up is that if you live in a flood zone and you didn't have flood insurance, you're still able to put in for this claim. If you live in a flood zone and you had flood insurance, you're still able to apply for this claim. I'm not smart enough right now to know how much you're gonna get off of that 33,000 past your flood insurance or whatever, because I mean, every insurance has something that don't cover, you know, so he's gonna probably have a decent amount of questions that he's gonna be having to answer to the public. And anybody that didn't put in a claim yet, talking to about 20, 30 people, one of the best ways is over the phone. You gotta sit down with a tall cup of coffee, you know, because it's gonna take you half an hour. But that they will work with you and get your claim in and, you know, have you on site. We had something like 70-something thousand by yesterday morning that were in the state of Louisiana, and that's gonna grow exponentially, you know, a heck of a lot more. But those guys have been in our parish, and they've been around, and they're setting up the meeting today. So I mean, with you, and they'll be setting up their office, and I'm sure that'll come out on our websites or within the bulletins on the TVs and all, where people can get a hold to it, what to do with FEMA. Something we did the other day was basically lifted the curfew. We felt like these communities were very good communities. People were just out there trying to help people, trying to get back and get a couple valuables they needed at their houses. our sheriff's office and Louisiana National Guard with their night patrols, their high water patrols and all, and like the sheriff said earlier. So we felt like we needed that ability for people to move around and get to the stores and let the stores stay open as late as they could, and that seems to be working. You know, as we move through the next phase of the debris cleanup, the houses being open for days at a time and things like that, you know, we really seriously care. You know, we want the health and safety of the people. We're probably looking at an extra effort with mosquito control at some point that we'll continue on and put that together. So they're bad out there. They were bad when we were sandbagging, you know, a week ago. So, so with that, if you have nothing else, we appreciate you, man.
Just a couple of notes if I could. I mean, I wanted to mention mosquito abatement. Normally we contract with EBR. That's in the process. We're looking into it. And I don't know if I was clear that when we were approved for the federal declaration, normally the feds approve you for categories A and B, which is emergency protective measure and debris removal only. Then you have to do a damage assessment to validate the rest. We got approved for all of it, categories A through G. So
through G.
So we got it all.
So they took a good look and they saw that we're in bad shape, and it's, you know, no hurdles to jump.
Right.
All the forces that we can have are with us. So, once again, we appreciate it, Rick. I'm sure somebody might have questions for you. We had one speaker, Mr. Chase Malonzo. You want to speak?
Hello, council. How y'all doing? Name's Chase Malonzo. I've spoken to a lot of you over the last few weeks and everything, and I look forward to standing up here for my 3 minutes for quite some time, and we all know why. But I'm not going to talk about what I wanted to talk about here today, even though I will never stop voicing my opinion about the previous controversy to last week. But contrary to popular belief, I much prefer acknowledging a good job done than standing and only criticizing things that go on. And today I'm here to applaud the council sitting in front of me, every single Ascension Parish employee, every Ascension Parish police officer, the Gonzales Police, our volunteer fighters, OHSEP employees, and especially our newly born Cajun Navy. What's been happening the last week is unbelievable. Every single one of y'all up there. I've had a lot of people reach out to me. I mean, they seen council members on boats and waters, shovels in hands, transferring animals to Lamar Dixon once they were willing to accept them. I even know one councilman who was still answering calls while his kids and grandkids had lost everything. And so my critic days will come back soon enough, but for once, I'm not here as a critic, but as a fellow Ascension Parish citizen who is devastated, sad, and anxious to make this place better. And I'm no James LeBlanc, but my love for this place is nauseating, and I can't wait to make it better with everybody. And I ask all of y'all to just keep doing exactly what you're doing right now, because it's not going unnoticed by your people of the parish. And that's all I want to say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
With that, we've talked all about the east side of the parish, but when this weather started, we had some pretty good devastation on the west side of the parish. So with given the chain of command, I'm gonna go down to District 1. Mr. Oliver Joseph, sir, any update or questions for any department, sir?
No, Randy, I mean, look, the first day was, a little shaky on the West Bank, but after that, it's nothing compared to what the people on the east side is going through right now and what they have been through. My hearts go out to them, and as we all know, there's one thing about the council. We may disagree on a lot of things, but we all work together. And once again, it's an honor and a privilege to work as long y'all and the parish government administration too, to make sure our parish be the best down the road. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll move over to Mr. Bill Dawson, the guy that goes from Donaldsonville to the Diversion Canal, sir, and all the McElroy Swamp.
Thank you. Well, as Randy says, my district is fairly diverse, going again from the Diversion Canal to Donaldsonville. And I saw a lot of diverse things going on within that district. I saw people fighting for their homes. I saw 100 kids from Nichols, student athletes, come, spent 5 hours in Santa Ma filling sandbags. So I'm proud to be a part of Ascension. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Travis Turner.
Yes, my district wasn't hit as hard as some other districts were, but we did experience some flooding in the Southwood area, the Astroland area, and a few homes in the Gosma area. And, you know, we're just looking forward to the recovery, and I thank everyone that's came out to help people who have flooded and who has helped with the rescue, and I think the parish has come back a lot stronger than it is now.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sadler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. District 4 was not hit that bad. When I say that, I'm sure the folks that are underwater near Bayou Manchac wouldn't agree. But that said, we were fortunate, I think, in that regard. I'm going to estimate right now without an official count, although I've driven my district several times, maybe 35 to, Mr. Chairman, 50 homes, mostly right around off of Perkins Road, Bayou Manchac, toward the backs of 4 or 5 different subdivisions, of course, took water. Again, as we've heard from some of the councilmen that just spoke, D4 didn't get it nearly as bad as Sorrento and Santa Ma, and my heart goes out for those folks as well as the people I directly serve. I would like, Mr. Chairman, if you allow me, just to give a special shout out to the Companion Animal Rescue Association of Ascension. See, several of them are here, and I think they deserve that praise because they've done an outstanding job, as our OEP director, Mr. Weber, alluded to earlier. There's 700 animals, I think he said, out there, and it did start with CARA. And I'm glad to hear that it's branched out now to the LSU School of Veterinary Medicine, the LSART team, and so forth, to take care of those animals. And so no one's really spoke for that overall group, except I guess now myself, but I'm reasonably certain, anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, they still need some volunteers out there, just like the people, and us not knowing how long the evacuees themselves are going to have temporary housing at Lamar-Dixon and even elsewhere before they can get back into their homes. Their fur babies are going to have to deal with a similar situation. One final comment. After Hurricane Katrina, it was shown that something like 70–80% of the people who wound up in the Superdome and other staging areas in that terrible catastrophe pretty much told folks that that we're trying to help them, that I won't leave my place without my pet. I think we've certainly seen that reiterated here in Ascension Parish in the last, someone called it earlier, 7-day event. So I think everybody needs to bear that in mind. So if you can help and volunteer to come out there, I know, I think the director said something about if you have horse experience, that you know how to walk those animals. You can't just keep them penned up. They have to have exercise and so forth, just like the dogs and cats. They have to be bathed. They have to be fed every day. They have to be cleaned. It's a gigantic task. And those guys are working just as hard as anyone without sleep to try to get all that stuff done. So I applaud them, Mr. Chairman, and I thank everyone for listening.
Mr. Dempsey Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Galvez, Louisiana.
Well, we took a direct hit. I want to make that clear. But look, I want to give my time. Please, Ms. Darlene Shake Snyder with Council on Aging, Parish President, if you don't mind, I'd like to bring her up. And I'd also like to get Mr. Jerome up because things, like you said, in the last 10 hours have unfolded, and I mean, we have some serious things that needs to be answered. Ms. Darling, would you please let everyone know when you will start your services back to our homes where we can get meals and stuff for our elderly?
We will be starting serving meals again on Monday here on the East Bank. Donaldsonville only missed Thursday and Friday because we had so much water around our senior center on Thursday. We could not get out of the center to deliver meals.
Thank you, ma'am.
Don't a couple of things in case anyone has any questions. Your vehicle, your transportation, are you still helping? Any transportation?
We had turned over one vehicle to the parish for evacuation of people in wheelchairs. And our vehicles were moved by OEP staff and Sheriff's Office staff to for their safety. Not their safety, but, to higher ground. And we had so many areas impacted that we could not get to the seniors that were there. I contacted 90% of the people that we served on Monday to ascertain whether they were still home, if they needed any food, or if they had evacuated with family. And most of them had family who would take care of them if they did need to evacuate. They all informed me whether they were safe or if they needed food. And Monday we did get food to those that needed it, except for two ladies who lived in Sanama that we could not get to. They told me they had food, but would have liked, some fresh milk and things like that.
Thank you so much for coming.
Okay, welcome.
Ms. Darlene,
Yes, I'm sorry.
but your facilities are dry, though,
The
correct?
facilities are both dry
And
now.
if anybody needs some food, please call us.
Okay, thank you.
And what did you want Jerome to go over?
If you don't mind, Parish President, I know we have been crossing here, but
Sure.
the meeting that we had today, can Jerome give a little bit with the companies here that we can try to help get people back some electricity and,
Sure.
just anything that we can get anything normal back?
Yeah, okay. Before I say that, Mr. Lambert, I want to tell you that our office has a list of licensed contractors in Ascension Parish, and if anybody would like to call our office, we'll let them know that that person is licensed to do business in Ascension Parish, all right? In terms of the utilities, electricals, we've had conversations with Entergy and with Demco, and we've been told by both utility company that if water has reached their meter or the box below the meter, or if the box is above the meter, they're pulling the meter, okay? And they're leaving it up to Ascension Parish to tell them that it's okay to re-meter the house and power up that house, okay? We're working on the procedure in order to give them the okay to repower the house, okay? Right before the meeting, I had a last conversation with them, and they're going to be doing that tomorrow. They're going to be going through subdivisions that have been extensively flooded, and they're going to be pulling the meter on those homes that they feel are unsafe, okay? We're asking people to contact us. We're going to go through an expedited and free permit process, but we want people to be safe because we know water and electricity do not mix. And it's for the safety of the Ascension Parish residents, okay? And they can contact our office. We'll have something on the web as to what that process will be. If we need to go out in the field and we need to put a permit office in the field, we will do that, okay? But as of right now, they're going through the process of pulling the meters. And so we don't know who's been affected and who has not been, right? So I'll be happy to work with anybody on that deal.
Thanks, sir.
Just, could you please give the phone number that they can contact you?
Yeah, the phone number at the building department is 225-450-1002. Again, 225-450-1002. That's the building office. Yeah, thank you.
Once again, we want to reiterate that this is not necessarily a permit process. This is an approval process for safety. That we need to know that the house is safe. I'm gonna let y'all know that we have had the energy group try to turn on a grid, which might be a subdivision or might be an area or something, okay? I don't know how all the grids work, but cow got to start somewhere. And it keeps throwing. Well, they might have one house that wants their electricity back on, but it might have 5 of them over there that's throwing this breaker, okay? That they've been underwater and they have shorts. So they're professionals. They know what they're doing. And we just want a good, experienced, qualified eye to look at the stuff before we get electricity back into our home. And at least get it to the point of the main breaker. Thank you, Jerome. Next, we'll move to Mr. Todd Lambert.
Yeah. Dempsey, you finished?
I had just one.
That's fine,
Let
go
me
ahead.
go ahead.
I thought you had something, that's why.
I want to let.
I didn't see you. I'm
No
sorry.
problem, man. I just want to let everyone know that, look, that drainage department, they rolled it out all the way to the end. I'm not gonna lie to you, when it was bad, they rolled it all the way out. Galvez Lake Fire Department, thank you. I want to thank them, and God bless everybody.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to first start off thanking the volunteers and all staffs of all departments. Did an outstanding job and still doing beyond their duty, you know, and it's just really very heartbreaking to look this parish over. I've been on board 17 years. This is the worst event that I've been through. My district wasn't hit real hard, but as I joined Santa Mo's district, and there's a lot of friends and family live there, and a lot of people got hurt. And we're gonna get through this. You know, the man above has put us down here and challenges us, and we're gonna make us stronger. We're gonna come through this, you know, even stronger. The debris pickup, yeah, we're gonna see our parish maybe not look as pretty as it has, and we just got to take patience, and it's gonna get all picked up, and we're gonna get back to normal. And I maybe asked DPW that we're gonna need a lot of places for people to stay temporarily. So we may have a lot of trailers coming in, mobile travel trailers that's gonna have to be parked next to the homes. Maybe we can follow less guidelines where we can hook these trailers up temporarily so these people will have a place to stay. We have a lot of displaced people right now, a lot in this parish. And
It's
that's
already in place, sir.
yeah. So we want to make sure, and I knew that, I just want to let the public know that that will be taking place. It's just unreal, you know, seeing the help and the volunteers take place, you know, in all aspects of this event. And I'm overwhelmed and definitely proud to be in Ascension Parish. Thank you guys for all being here this afternoon too.
Thank you, Todd. Move on to Aaron.
Thank you. District 7 was, high and low. Around Bayou Manchac, Cotton Bayou, Muddy Creek, we had some very significant flooding. Some people up to the rooftops, some people only 6 inches, 2-3 inches in the house, which does a tremendous amount of damage. It's been good to see the amount of volunteers. I want to say a big thank you to Chief Stewart and his crew, because we went out there and had the sandbags going, and they were right there with us. It was very impressive, the things that the fire department did for us to get the sandbags out there. Unfortunately, it didn't always help. We have a lot of people that need help. The community's been great. All through the neighborhoods, everybody's been helping each other. If your house is done gutted, we've moved on to the next one to help the next person, and that's been fantastic. I do have a couple questions. I've been getting a lot of offers from people from out of the area, from New Orleans, that want to come up and help demolition, help rebuild, that sort of thing, volunteer work. Is it Volunteer Ascension? Is that the best people that they can contact?
Yes.
Okay, that's the word I'm getting. Bridge inspections. I know we had a lot of bridges in my neighborhood, and a couple ones along there crossing over Muddy Creek that were underwater. Do we have a plan to get those inspected? Okay, we do, great. Because I know there's some concern with the structure of those. Other than that, thank you all. Thank everybody very much. The administration's doing very good. They've been working hard. Everybody on this council's been working hard, but it's really the volunteers, the Cajun Navy that's been out there, ferrying people in and out, getting food to the people that are working. You know, if you have the time, if you can make a load of sandwiches. We had a family come through our neighborhood just passing out sandwiches and Cokes. Don't know who they were, what they were. It was the greatest thing. We spent all day in the heat, got in somebody's house. It's a wonderful thing just to get something that simple. We can all help. Just find a way to help. So thank y'all.
All right. Ms. Terry.
Gentlemen, first off, I want to say I'm so glad to see a couple of you cry before me, because there's no doubt that as the woman up here, I'd have been the one to be accused of being a crybaby. So I'm going to try to get through this. But I don't know how to describe what I have watched happen in my parish in the last 7 days. I don't know how to describe the comfort I have taken from all of you, how much you have offered to help. Anything we needed. I don't know how much I can say about what stood up in parish government. I'm flabbergasted. I didn't really think we had it in us. I mean, I'll tell you, I looked at this at one point and went, oh my God, will we? And we did. I want to tell you, I had a constituent call me, and he had been in his plant, and he realized his house was going to go under, and he said, Miss Terry, can you get me some sand and some bags? 28 minutes from the time I got that phone call, sand and bags were dropped on his driveway. I don't know if it's humanly possible to do it that fast, but Treg Cunningham and Jamie Brown got it done. And a shout out to them. How much more can we ask of them? I can tell you we're going to ask a lot, because the recovery process is not going to be an easy one. And what I have seen happen in intergovernmental cooperation between the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, our fire departments, our DPW, our parish president's office, the legal counsel that we need in order to be able to do this work, all of that has worked beautifully. I also want to shout out to Iberville Parish, who drove over here to a meeting this morning, who put their self-concerns on the table, helped us when we said these are our concerns. For my folks, particularly in the Alligator Bayou, Frog Bayou area, the cooperation that took place in that room is going to make the difference between them getting their homes back. I can't tell you when, but getting them back in a condition in which they might be able to restore them. 2 or 3 months with that water in your house, folks, there ain't no way. So we all put it out there on the table. We had some uncomfortable moments, and before you knew it, grown men and women found a way to do it together. So I thank them from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to need some questions answered going forward, and I'll get with Mr. Rue afterwards about what's going to happen to my Manchac Highland community up there high on the bluff while all this work is going down right below them on Alligator Bayou Road. I know there's going to be pumps happening there. I know there's going to be digging and noise and lots of stuff, traffic. Those folks are going to have to deal with. They also have, I've been hearing from them on this thing, and just in the last couple of minutes, what's it going to mean for me for my water level? I'm assuring them that I don't know the exact answer to that, but I'm going to get it. And so nobody let me forget that I need to find that out. I don't know if there's anything more I can say other than I thank God I live in this parish today, and that I know the people I know in this parish today, because you have proven that you are absolutely amazing, and we're going to get through this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry. Mr. John Cagnolati.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Being a new member on this council, somebody asked me the other day, are you glad you got into this? Yes, I am. In the past 7 days, I've witnessed the most devastating tragedy that has ever happened anywhere in the state of Louisiana. I don't think I say that lightly. It's been stated publicly by people who are much higher up the food chain than me. But I will say this, what I have witnessed is a spirit of support, a spirit of volunteerism, a spirit of cooperation. And I am so impressed with the people that are sitting up here, the OEP staff, public safety folks, firefighters, sheriff, police, across the parish, DPW people, unbelievable. When this thing hit Friday and Saturday, I was on the ground zero, people asking me for sandbags. I want to tell you, people, it didn't matter whether you lived on the outskirts of Gonzales and you had a hard time getting them from Gonzales, because the various volunteer fire departments were providing sandbags. And when it got worse for other areas, like Travis said, it wasn't so bad on the western side of Gonzales, but it was pretty bad on the eastern side. People in the San Amor area, hey, I need sandbags. So I called the city people. Hey, can you help me? Yeah, we did. The spirit of cooperation was phenomenal. There again, we'll get through this. People supporting each other, families. A lot of people were evacuated by family members to other areas. They're going to want to come home. And we're going to do everything we can with the cooperative spirit that we've had through this to get them home quickly and get them home safely and make Ascension whole again. And like everybody up here, I'm so proud to be a part of this community, to part of this parish. We're fortunate to have what we have and who we have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Ganglotti. Mr. Benny Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I'd like to say that I want to thank everyone up here. Unfortunately, I've been locked in the plant for the last 7 days and hadn't had much of a chance to get out and tend to my district as much as I would like to. So these folks up here have helped me out greatly, as well as the parish president, administration, and staff, to make sure that the needs of my district have been met over the last 7 days. And phone calls and stuff that I have been getting, redirecting those folks. And it's a tribute to these guys that we're able to get through like we are, and no more spirit. And you've heard several people out here talking. The spirit comes through as far as our citizenry here is no more exuded by anybody else. As far as Councilman Randy Clue, our chairman, his house is under 5-6 foot of water, and he's out here taking care of parish business, his family, and all that. They lost a lot, and I appreciate you helping me out with what you've done. I grew up through the fire service when I got out of high school, and I can tell you, times like this back in '83, the first time I got involved with it, district lines go away. There isn't more. Santa Monica, Galvez, Prairieville, Gonzales, 7th District, Sorrento, Hillerville, Geismar. It's Ascension Parish. They ride all over the parish, taking care of people, rescuing them, doing what needs to be done. It's just a can-do spirit, and those type of people, and this type of people, every one of the people in this parish, when you step up and needs there, you may have your neighbor or your brother or sister that's not getting along with each other, but with times like this, all that goes away, and we pull together and we get things done. And that's what that's what we've been doing for the last 7 days. That's what we're going to be doing for the next several months, as we try to work through this and get people back to where they need to be. And everybody else is up here has said it. It's great to be from here because that's the type of people that are here. We are family, whether we're related or not. And I enjoy being here. I love this place like everyone else does, and that's why we try to do what we do to make this place better. And this is a trying time, but we'll get through it. Just keep your head up, keep plugging along. Thanks to all the volunteers that are out there doing what they need to do. Excuse me. Thanks to the law enforcement doing everything that they do, going above and beyond. Our parish workers, everyone said, you can't praise these folks enough. I mean, I think I've heard up to 50-60% of the people that work for the parish had some kind of damage. It did not lose everything, and yet they're still on the job getting things done for the people of this parish. And that's tough. When you're sitting there knowing that everything's going on, you can't help your family because you're out doing your job. But just want to reiterate thanks to everyone for what y'all are doing, and I appreciate your help. And if anyone needs anything in my district, let me know. We'll work to try to make that happen. And hopefully this weekend I'll get a little bit of time off and can start working with you guys and helping out. Thank you.
Thank you, Benny. Well, in District 6, it's devastating. This event was catastrophic. The task to move forward is magnanimous. This is a time when you elected us to have a certain amount of responsibility for your life, your health, and your welfare and your safety. And that's going to be our first concern. We're not worried. I'm going to tell you what, if I could be in any place in the world, I'm not worried about communities, helping communities. We probably have 50 volunteer organizations, at least around the country, that are on the tab to try to come in and help. And we're gonna get that going. It takes time. We need a place, so like we might need the Santa Monica Park, the Kluwat Park to dry up, and that would be maybe a staging ground to help a facility. Like James says, we got one good dry place where we got the command. But this is a very humbling experience, and it's humbling to all of us that we're not totally in control of everything that goes on around us. But we have to keep moving forward. We have to try. I'm asking the patience of please, neighbors, continue to love neighbors. That this is going to be a very hard task. When I went up in a helicopter 2 days ago, it looked like Hurricane Katrina. Nothing but rooftops, okay? And approximately 30 of them belong to my family members. But the other 1,500 belong to people I love and care for. And I tell you what, my stuff wasn't in a canoe, but I already had a place to go. And I think for the most part, a lot of people were like that. And that's the community we live in. But please keep in mind that we're going to continue to adjust whatever services we can provide, not only on the local level, but the state level and the federal level. We're going to try to work between the lines, adjust those services to try to make them somewhat more efficient to you than a normal basis. Every department that deals in public assistance within parish government is going to have to conform and have to make a way and figure out some way to work more efficient, to better serve the public. If they normally had 3 people looking at this on a normal basis, well, then they might need 13. You understand? So that's what we're going to do. Every department is given a task, and CEO Dawson has been given that task also, is that the departments need to look within themselves, and we're going to try to deliver the services. We're going to try to get, Todd had mentioned about the trailers. That was the perfect thing. I can pull up a camper on my driveway, and if I can get electricity to it and a little water, then I'm hunkered down. I can work on my house. I'll be there by my house to where that load of sheetrock or lumber that was delivered yesterday is going to still be there in the morning when I get there, okay? And that, I got a place to kind of help the people that's come and help me. We're going to work with people on that, okay? There's everything, this is not normal. It's not going to be normal for a long time. One of the things, meeting with the school board this morning, those guys you saw came here are working day and night to figure out some kind of plan. They've got a big task in front of them. But as soon as we can get these children back into school, and like the sheriff said, we go to a Friday night football game, we're going to be happy. All right? So right now, we still got the task of dewatering. It's still unsafe for people to be in some of the areas within the parish. People are going in and out trying to get what they can, and we help them every way we can. But we still got a task in front of us before we actually start the rebuild. So please, if you want to holler at somebody, holler at the elected officials. But let's let neighbors be good to neighbors, man. Let's all be patient and work together. And I don't see any issues except it's long term. So anything, any type of services that you need, if you can't get in touch with OEP or whatever, or the parish office, call your council member. All right. We talked about Volunteer Ascension being the center for the volunteer groups coming in. Anybody that wants to contact Volunteer Ascension, their number is 644-7655. And like I said, we'll continue to work. Yes, sir.
Come on, right here. I can't read lips.
Miss Boudreaux, did I misquote? Come to the podium, please.
I'm retired, but I know where Sherry Denning is. She's in 12 different directions right now. She did send to me that there's a flood relief account set up. Donations go to Volunteer Ascension at any Whitney Bank location in Gonzales area, I guess anywhere, but in Gonzales area. Also, if you want to mail them to Volunteer Ascension, Post Office Box 1564, Gonzales, Louisiana, 70707. And you just gave out Volunteer Ascension's number.
Say it again, please.
644-7655.
Yes, ma'am.
I lived through Hurricane Katrina there, so it's all up here too. But also, supply donations can be dropped off not only at the Lamar Dixon gym, but she said they can go to the Fellowship Church that's in Prairieville. I think it's off of 73, and I forgot where it was. Oh, next to...
On 73.
Yes.
On 73.
Where is it? Park 73? Is that where you go
Next
for
to Park
places?
73,
It's next
yes.
to Park 73. Thank you. I'm retired.
Thank you.
Councilman, can I add to that?
Good, thank you, Randy.
Yes.
If a company or someone like that wants to make a donation to Volunteer Ascension and they want to get a tax credit, they need to go to Volunteer Ascension. They're a 501(c), and they can request that in advance, and they'll give them that so that they,
Yes.
because there's some companies that are giving. No, let them contact directly. They'll be able to do it that way, and they can get the tax credits, because there's some companies that are different to multiple parishes, and they asked us today how to do that, and we directed them to Volunteer Ascension.
Well, look, basically, rather than not have this meeting, we called this meeting to get an update to everybody and just get us all together. We've been in and out together in the smaller groups, back and forth, and updates and all. But we, whatever you need, make a phone call, okay? We have gotten, just like any other disaster, we have gotten some assurities all the way to Washington, D.C. We will have to work that to make sure that that continues to take place. And once again, I know people that are applying on the FEMA, and they're getting some rejects and stuff like that. I've been told by FEMA, please, reapply, all right? Reapply, and when we get the office set up here in the next day or so, then that'll be a good place. Mr. Todd Lambert.
I got one quick thing nobody really mentioned, and it's safety. Let's keep safety in mind, eyes on task, mind on task, to keep yourself from getting in a line of fire. So there's a lot of issues out there with electrical and water that don't mix. So please be safe, citizens. We want y'all to be safe. So far, we did good with that, and we want to stay there. Thank you.
Any further comment? With that, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, Mr. Ken Dawson, CL.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just that's saying real quick. I just wanted to be stated that when this thing started, that was not the Red Cross, it was not GoSef, it was the people of Ascension that started that shelter.
Right.
I don't know where the volunteers came from. I don't know where the knowledge base came from, but what they set up was absolutely amazing. Second thing is, for some of our employees, we're going to be asking, Mr. Chairman, for you to possibly have a special meeting, because there's some things that we need to present to this body that we need to do for them that we'll be getting with you later.
Yes, sir. And the fact is, we've got so many employees that are displaced from their homes, that we're all in this same community, that we will be reviewing whatever benefits, whatever practices, whatever normal procedures that we can do to adjust them. And if we have to do that by resolution, we will. And I just want to ask some latitude from my fellow council members as your chair. If we reach the point, we've got emergency contracts in place. We've got things going. We reached a point where we're going to need a contract put in place within a day or two. I do plan to call a special meeting of this council. And if we got to call 5 of them in the next month, we'll call 5 of them. So, yes, Mr. President.
Mr. Chairman, as I discussed with you this evening, the big thing I want y'all to think about is we have a lot of employees that have water in their houses. A lot of those employees have a bank of vacation.
Yeah.
And O'Neill's researching, and we're going to come to y'all with a plan to let them get that vacation money now if they need it. So that's the big thing I want y'all to think about.
We're up for anything that you want to bring in front of
Yes,
when
sir.
it comes to helping the employees, sir.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Once more.
Motion
We have a motion adjourned by Mr. Benny Johnson, a second by Mr. John Cagney. Any objection? None. We are adjourned.